Playbooks here. So welcome to the gameplay deep dive. We're going to talk about everything going on. We'll have the gameplay trailer that they, brought out going on over top of me. I want to go through, a lot of what they've said in this blog, in this video. It's really some things that I've had experience with in the beta. You can see it if you've played Madden a lot. You can tell the changes. You can tell where they focus on. Tell, a lot about what they've done to the game. And in that aspect, it's kind of neat, okay? But let's go through and give our thoughts on what we've seen so far. I've done a video already on gameplay and my thoughts initially. I got more thoughts, obviously, as I play it more. But let's see what they have, right? They have field sense, right? Field sense was their marketing term they came up for, generally improving their game year over year. They talk about smarter AI. They talk about smarter AI every year, deeper immersion, new SAPIEN technology. We'll get to that in a bit. So one thing, Hit Everything 2.0 is a marketing term that they have for tackling, okay? And you will notice, right, there are some really cool scoop tackles. There are really some cool animations along with tackling that they've added to the game overall. And they've improved catch tackles, they say. And I've noticed it where you will try and catch a ball and they'll hit you while you're catching it. I will say guys hang on to the ball a lot better this year in coverage than ever before, but they do drop it quite a bit also. So it's okay. I'm not sure it's perfectly balanced right now, but it's pretty good because I haven't really seen top end catchers, poor catchers. I think poor catchers will drop the ball quite a bit. But we'll see, of course. Obviously, zone rating, hit, stick, weight, all that stuff factors into it also. And one thing is, in previous years, Madden 23, for example, if you had acrobat, pick artist, you get a lot of picks through the body of wide receivers. In 24, I don't see that as much. That's not saying that's not going to happen, right? It could still happen. But in my limited time, obviously I spent 1,000 hours plus every year on Madden, and I haven't put near that much time into Madden 24. But I do notice DBs will go for the breakup quite a bit more than actually getting the pick. I've had a lot of trouble getting interceptions, and I wonder if it's due to this Hit Everything 2.0 where they go more for the knockout. Even when you hit in triangle and it feels like you should get that, they do tend to just go for the breakup a lot, which, is kind of realistic in coverage, I guess. But it's also kind of annoying when they throw it in coverage and they don't get punished for it because defense is kind of hard in Madden 24, at least against competent players. So, new animations to air catches, new animations to tackling overall. You'll definitely notice that, they say they got rid of the conservative tackle and from A and X, and it's now the wrap tackle. So, A on Xbox, X on PlayStation. Now the wrap tackle, and the outcomes are based off tackle advantage logarithm. Basically, heaviness, tackle stat, probably that's all into it. But yeah, I've seen some pretty sweet, pile driving tackle animations. They really do talk about the big man wrap tackles, the Vita Vea grabbing a running back and turning him up the middle. It is something that is evident. I feel like weight does play more because, dude, this has been a problem in Madden forever, right? 25 years plus that we've been playing the game. Small 180-pound running backs will run through big 330-pound defensive tackles. They'll plow forward. And that's not something you see very often except for, arm tackles and stuff in the NFL. So the fact that big man wrap tackles are here, I'm excited for it, that the thickness gets a little bit of extra pudding added towards it. They added 1,700 tackle animations, scoop tackles they talk about. All right, blocking. Now, I will say the run game seems very powerful. The bubble, right? Wide receiver bubbles. Downfield blocking seems a lot better than previous years. They'll still miss things. They'll still be very frustrated. But you know what's very interesting? They said they helped upgrade the blocking system. They helped upgrade the blocking system by making it do less. Right? We overhauled open field blocking by asking blockers in the open field to do less, right? This was feedback by Zan. I think gave it to him last year. So it's interesting what happens to this game, at least gameplay-wise, when they take feedback from some of their most knowledgeable people in the community. Interesting, EA. I feel like you should do that more often. I feel like your game would be in such better state if you did and responded more better. Good feedback. There's a lot of bad feedback out there. Don't worry. But EA's job is to filter the good from the bad. So, foundational football, we'll swing back to that and the rest of it. As far as blocking itself, yeah, on the fly, double teams, it's a run year. I highly recommend having run-stopping abilities on your defensive line. or else it's going to be very hard to shoot gaps and play against the pass, right? Because like 3-4, I haven't been able to get into it a lot because a lot of guys, have balanced offenses or are passing, and linebackers still don't jump, which is very frustrating. Like, you can go ahead and use it with Fred Warner, but the fact that he won't leave the ground is just annoying when whatever slapdick safety will be there will jump like 3 feet in the air and pick balls. Well, Fred Warner won't. It's just unbalanced and wrong. So they need to rebalance out 3-4, 4-3 formations to allow linebackers in those spots to jump up and actually play competent defense, because they've already got nerfed like movement abilities, because safeties are generally faster than linebackers, both in game and in real life. So I hope they end up remembering that linebackers can jump soon. There's been feedback we've had for them since that Shads in 19 took away the power of linebackers to jump. So they extended the stand-up tackles. They've done a lot of things with tackling. You'll definitely notice that. Passing system, okay? They got jump and dive passes. Probably one of the biggest controversial things from the beta so far was that Patrick Mahomes dive one. Jump passes, those will happen like to get over certain offensive lines, certain defenders coming up near them, right? Like, we'll see how high they can jump. Like Josh Allen with like a small hop because he's 6'5", versus some certain number 1 overall drafted quarterbacks might have to jump out the building to get over some defensive linemen, like Calais Campbell at 6'8". I don't know if that's going to happen, but they added more no-look pass animations. Not a fan of it because no-look means like the cross-body, like unrealistic type of passes seem to find themselves into the game a little bit more. Now, to be fair, Mahomes sometimes feels a little overpowered on the real football field, and his no-look pass animations, cross-field body throws, just that's, how he moves the ball sometimes against the NFL defenses because of how just, absolutely bonkers he is. So I guess we'll see. We'll see how they play out going forward. From we know from day one, we get a patch, right? In Madden, when it launches, the beta is the beta. So they're going to take our feedback, hopefully modify some of the things we give feedback on, and patch it day one like they do most years. So we'll see. Hopefully listen to the good feedback, not the bad feedback. They talk about the dive. Patrick Mahomes pass is getting tweaked based off beta feedback. Catching improvements. I will say absolutely catching has taken a step up. The thing about catching is we don't have really hit sticks in the NFL anymore, right? Receivers go across the middle. Back in the day with like Ray Lewis, Ronnie Lott, like you used to have these guys just trying looking like just to injure and maim receivers. Now you don't really have that anymore because it's a penalty, and those guys, rightfully so. We don't want to end people's lives or shorten them up, give them brain injuries. So we have hit sticks in Madden. Right, and people like big hits. So it's an unrealistic part of the game, but something that we're like, well, it's a video game and it's fun, and we've sacrificed for it for years and kept hit sticks in the game. And that, I think, is okay. I'm totally for that, right? The same way we have a third-person omniscient camera view of the quarterback to throw the ball down the field. These are sacrifices that are made for a video game for fun reasons. So catching itself, right? In the NFL, receivers have these gloves that you can catch the ball with like 2 fingers, okay? And so you got to balance it out, right? If a receiver takes a hit like this IRL from across the middle, they drop the ball generally. But we don't have those hits anymore in the NFL. So receivers across the middle of the field catch the ball a lot better than they've ever caught it before because of all these things that have added up. So in Madden, we can lay hit sticks, and receivers can catch the ball through these hit sticks, which doesn't feel realistic at all. Okay, so I see the reason why they have this, why Larry Fitzgerald types, right, like the slower, better catching receivers are able to hang on to balls, even taking hit sticks. I get it, right? That's something that we sacrifice for the game. It doesn't feel necessarily right, but it's something that they've done. And you know what? It's hard to argue against it. It's easy to argue against it for like realistic reasons, because taking hit sticks, you generally let go of the ball. But my whole argument up to this point was showing why sometimes the game has to be unrealistic for fun factors. So, like guys like, that are like more speed-based, like the John Ross types should probably drop those, but the ones that have more, sticky hands, Justin Jefferson types should probably hang on to them. So I can see it's tough to balance that with the unrealistic nature of hit sticks and receivers and unnecessary roughness nowadays. So we also have dive catches, free-form passing. They talk about dive catches. I really haven't seen a whole lot of them. I've seen dive animations of them getting missed. But they dive catches are back in the game. So be aware, but it is pretty rare to hang on to them. You probably have to have a really high catching for them. They talk about SAPIEN technology, and it's basically the bones are in the people now, because we're all literally just like, walking skeletons with meat sacks around us. So they added it to players. They show off a comparison between like last year's like dumpy looking Quentin Nelson and this year's more I'd say thick version, the Q that we all know and love. So it has been improved slightly, and it's something that like I can tell EA is very much in like, we want to make this more of a sim game, because they're focusing a lot on visuals, right? And people like myself, right, when you look at games that just come out like BattleBit, like it's like bad visuals, but it's fun. I haven't played it yet, but that's what I'm hearing from people. Like it's like Battlefield 5, right? But like made just for fun, and people are having a blast with it. And Battlefield 5, which was made for visuals, people are like, this game sucks. So the fact that EA is going a lot in visuals, it's you know what, them trying to make it more realistic, whether you agree or disagree with the direction of it, is something they're trying to do. I personally disagree. I would prefer like the gameplay to be tuned to #1 overall before like they make too many like crazy visual jumps. But they do, they're really focused on visuals year to year versus like say MLB The Show, who doesn't really care about visuals as much. But Madden is Madden, and that's what they upgrade every year. So take it or leave it. They also added referees to the field. I literally don't care. It was the #1 piece of feedback in last year's beta, and we just memed on them, or I memed on it all year as like, the game's got so many problems. But like I said, they're very much going for the sim crowd, the visuals, to make it more in depth, and people are into that. Even though I'm not, doesn't mean other people aren't, okay? So we talked a little bit about blocking. The AI blocking system is something that they've added to the game. I'm not going to go too much into that. Elite block will stand out more. Like, they're going to, like, sub-defensive formation, the more DBs on the field to stop the run will get destroyed by elite blockers. It's something like, if they get your hands on you on defense and, like, nickel formations, you're not really getting let go. I've definitely noticed blocking is really good in Madden 24 as far as against, like, the sub-defensive guys. And it's frustrating because, like I talked about before, like if I go 3-4, I'm sacrificing so much against the pass because linebackers basically have like concrete shoes, like they're mafia victims. And the DBs on the field can't stop the run. So like it just become too offensive focused. And it's frustrating. And we shouldn't have to have abilities on our team like Lurker, like Pick Artist, to do the foundational things that defensive players do. It's just frustrating. Defensive back AI and coverages. I've noticed this a little bit, specifically with the animations that like knock out balls on like curls and stuff. But a lot of defensive back AI and coverages, I haven't really noticed too much, right? They talk about eliminated cases with psychic DBs, sometimes break on balls they couldn't see. Not offensive need to see the ball to break on it. This is common in man coverage. Man coverage is as sticky in 24 as 23. I don't know what they did, but at least in my experience, I have not seen much at all. Now I've only been able to use like some short ins and stuff, and I really still don't see a lot of separation even with short in that I saw like last year. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna use to beat man. I'm gonna like obviously since in MUT you can only use one playbook. They forced me to use Kansas City playbook. It's hard, dude. It's hard beating man coverage. Man coverage is insanely sticky. Even the things that you think will be man coverage don't. So I think abilities will be needed again this year to get man coverage, which is an underrated BS move. I hate that concept's IRL that beat man coverage, don't beat it in game. Still again this year. We have tuned zone defender break time so defenders can shut down passes made to the zone by intercepting, swatting, and more. I have not gotten a lot of picks. I'll say that. Definitely they go for more swats than anything. They've tuned zone defender break times. I just wish they made zone defenders less traffic coney, right? They just drop to their spot and they don't recognize players around them. I will say I have noticed a little bit in cover 4 where like the strong safety will go and cover the corner route as the deep quarter covers the streak, even on non-match versions. So that has been much improved. So there is a little bit of improvement. I'm not sure it's where it needs to be right now. Crossers, Still look with the bad pass rush. Crossers look to be the most powerful pass in the game again. It's looking a lot like Madden 19, at least in the beta feedback that I've seen for passes. You can just make sure to have a crosser in every play, right? A crosser and maybe some like drag routes or a slant route and like a streak to clear it out. And it's very hard to stop that because of how slow the pass rush is. And that's really what I feel like the meta is, at least what I've had the hardest time stopping and the hardest time I've seen my opponent stopping is that type of play right there. All right, defensive AI read and react. So defensive AI is now going to react better against the run if you spam it over and over, which I think is a major W. I've said before, like runs up the middle, like you're going to need inside stuff. Inside stuff is still really nice, at least for some runs. Obviously, stretch plays, it doesn't work or anything like that, outside runs. But the outside runs feel powerful, like counters and stuff, because AI still gets their blocks. AI will still, sadly, not get that. Sometimes the defense plays really well and shoots the gap in the backfield and gets there before the AI, like slow offensive linemen are able to set their blocks. And that's fair. But we'll see, right? Obviously, the meta's not settled. People haven't found the best run plays yet or the best sets. The meta will end up dictating Madden once again this year. So even though, like, defensive AI, offensive AI is quote-unquote improved, it'll take a while, but the users will find some stuff that will like kind of glitch out the AI one way or another, both offense and defense and stuff. And I think the game right now, once I go against the good runners, I'm going to be very frustrated with how good running is in this game. I think pursuit still kind of sucks. I think it needs to improve. I don't think AI linebackers or DBs react to run as quick as maybe they should. I know they say they're going to react to run better on all Madden and stuff, and I think I'm just playing all pro difficulty and online. So we'll see, of course, what happens with the all Madden difficulty against the run and how that adjusts to it. But they say the players and the ratings are a huge factor here. Offensive linemen, defensive linemen still matter a lot, which I like quite a bit. The fact that they say ratings matter, hopefully it's not just hollow promises, but abilities override ratings. So how much do ratings actually matter at that point? Like, is my 100, like, can I make a guy 150 pounds with inside stuff and he just toss aside a 350-pound road grader offensive lineman? I guess we'll test it out when it actually launches. Create a play. I guess I can. Is there creation? I don't know if there's creation in the beta, but it is what it is. Okay. We'll see, because like right now we're all kind of like locked into certain playbooks. We all don't have a meta set. And I feel like it's going to be an offensive year once the meta finally settles down. Edge blitzes are still incredibly powerful. Offensive linemen still struggle getting to defensive backs off the edge for some reason. Right? The fact that Trent Williams can't kick back and knock out a defensive back blitzing off the edge is kind of weird, as like that's literally what they're trained to do is to kick back fast. Pockets don't form very well still, either four-man rush or that kind of situation. It might be something where maybe we're just dropping back too far, and if we stepped up a little bit more against these AI blitzers, we get home. I don't know. I don't know, but right now it feels like edge blitzing is going to be the meta to stop the pass in Madden 24 once again for, I don't know, the 5th straight year ever since they got rid of nanos. But quarterback AI. So if you do play offline, they've improved the quarterback AI. I think Muttleaks told me. Muttleaks literally said that they've added some sort of like machine learning, right? Like actual AI, right? People talk about right now to quarterback play. Now they talk about different types of quarterbacks, conservative, ideal, aggressive trait quarterbacks. Like the most like different quarterback I've ever played in my life is, remember in old Maddens when Peyton Manning would actually go up to the line of scrimmage, actually audible for 12 seconds in a row? Man, was that annoying. But that's what he did IRL, and people love that sim style. So they have different traits, obviously conservative, ideal, aggressive traits. Example, Kirk Cousins checking down on 3rd and long situations. Dude, stick a freaking like knife through the heart of Viking fans right there. Why you gotta be so personal there, EA? Ideal trait for Mahomes, then aggressive trait for Josh Allen, the new age Bert Favre. So that's nice. I like that they're adding a little bit more differentiation. I just hope ideal trait isn't like too overpowered. It's like all Madden just gonna be impossible to stop. Maybe we'll find some cheese. Man coverage is still man coverage. I still feel like it's really good. They talk about the AI with alert logic, audibling, and in hot routing against zone man. It could be one of those years. I remember a few years ago, like you'd always mess up the quarterback if you like came out in one play and then just audible to another one, came out in zone audible to man. It might be another year where all you have to do is post, call a play, then just audible to a different play, and then now all of a sudden you can just easily stop their offense. We'll see how adaptive an AI, the true AI is. The thing is, like, I don't know how, like, AI could literally be perfect, right? AI is better than humans at chess, but that's like, a static game. How good can AI read and react to open receivers? They can be crazy. They can be really good. But the thing is, like, I've seen oftentimes, you guys ever use that one X factor that has it lit up whenever a guy gets open? And like, well, if I threw that, the user would just pick it at that point. Or like, that wasn't a great throw, it'd probably get knocked out. And sometimes it recognizes it right away. The AI can be absolutely wildly powerful. So we'll see if this is a year where we just start getting picked apart by Mahomes and Burrow. But, that's what they do IRL. That's why they score a lot of points. And that's why some of the best teams in the NFL right now. They talked about back shoulder throws. They talked about a lot of different other throws they're going to make now. Vertical inside with pass leads, outside streak up the sideline between the flat and safety against cover 2. So we'll see how much that matters. They talk about also fumble recoveries and onside kicks. Yes. Major issues. Onside kicks, I don't know. People seem to like to cheese onside kicks in online play. They'll find like the perfect kick. They'll be able to repeat it over and over. They have new onside kick formations this year. I'm sure at least at some point somebody's going to find an exploit there, and we're going to have, it's just going to be onside kicks over and over. But maybe EA's cleaned it up, right? Let's cross our fingers and hope so. Onside kicks are better than ever before. But they talk about fumble recoveries, city versus country fumble recoveries. Like whether it's crowded, whether it's open, whether you can try to scoop and score or not. I like that they've added a little bit more depth to it, as fumble recoveries have been one of the biggest memes in the Madden community for years, with the ball just like bouncing around. Sometimes the ball's like in the air and both teams are like crowded and moving down the field. It's been hilarious at times seeing some of the memes that have come out of the fumble recoveries. So putting more time and effort into a major pain point is a W by EA. Ball carrier AI. They helped out AI ball carriers getting to green grass and high tides. That's all it is. They talk about some of the technology they use to get there, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Playbooks. I'm frustrated about playbooks, right? They're adding all these new plays, but only on offense. Do they not know 50% of the time you spend on defense? Defensive playbooks look like nothing happened to them, right? Like, why do they only focus on offense? Give us some new defensive things to counter the offense. It seems terrible. I don't think match got touched. I don't think, like the defensive playbooks I've seen, nothing changed. Literally nothing changed. Dude, they gotta, seriously fire the playbook guy. Right? The fact that they're ignoring defense is so weird. And they're bragging about 500 new plays across the NFL teams. Dude, if you have a full-time salary, 500 plays, that every year we should get 500 plus new plays on both sides combined, right? Maybe 500 plays on defense is too much, but you can only do so many things. But like, why isn't match tuning better? Like, dude, this isn't hard. Like seriously, 500 new plays. I bet you, if you gave me that job, I could do 500 plays in 2 weeks, and then go on a vacation for the other 50 fucking weeks of the year. Embarrassing. 500 plays? Dude, the old play rate. I used to do like 90 plays on my own in a couple hour session on like a head coach. Okay? 500 new plays. Embarrassing. 70 new offensive formations. Great, let's call this one nasty. All we're going to do to our bunch plays is move the wide receiver from out wide to in close. Oh, let's call it nasty. Boom, new formation, boss. Dude, seriously. We need somebody else doing playbooks. This is terrible. And the fact that they aren't in there for the beta, right? This thing, dude, how long has it been since Madden 23 launched? 500 plays over 10 months? 11 months? Dude, I'm actually embarrassed for whoever their hiring manager is. Post-play emotion, I literally don't care. Players now like fight, touchdown celebrations. I care about what happens between the whistles and sometimes a cheap shot slightly after the whistles. That's why NHL games are always so fun. You like slash him after the whistle, get no penalty. Nah, but like, I can see why people are into it. Like I said, they're going more for the sim crowd. But it is what it is. That's the gameplay deep dive. I'll talk to you guys later. Let me know, guys, know what you think.